if anyone is watching the replay right now, just give us a moment as we share this out in a few other groups. But as you can see with the tags, my name is Matt, and that is Jenna.
Hi guys, 2-student physical therapists about to graduate this year and
Yes.
fun NPTE exam.
Okay, come on, internet, load. Okay, there, I see the video. Let's share it, Come on. And
my strategy with the NPTE, aside from studying, like us all, and praying, I think it's probably a lot of praying, is not telling people. I'm trying not to broadcast when I'm taking it, because it's just that feeling of like, just in case.
Added pressure.
And then
no.
I'm not going to publicize it just in case there are people who haven't passed. I just want to,
be respectful. I get that.
I do celebrate people passing. I think it's freaking awesome. I love seeing people's success, but I just, out of concern for others. Andrew, hello. What's up?
Hey.
Well, actually, what's up is that it's snowing like crazy in Illinois right now.
Yeah. Okay. I got 2 more groups to post this in. Let's see. SSPT and.
So while Matt's posting, I'll explain what he's doing, which is pretty cool. So it's this website, BeLive.tv. So it's like Believe, but spelled improperly. So spelled like BeLive.tv. And on here, you can do your Facebook lives through this. And it's a way to, put out the live video on Facebook more easily. Well, quasi easily, as you can see.
Yeah.
But it's another resource. So for anybody who is watching, it is a good thing to do.
All right.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew, what do you think?
There we go. Okay, you should be able to see all the chats and stuff. But there we go. I hit all the groups. DPT students also. Hey, ATK, what's up? All right. So welcome, everyone. How's it going? As you can see by the tags, my name is Matt, and this is Jenna. And so we are going to talk about taking action. So first and foremost, Jenna, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone who is watching?
Yes, like Matt, I said this earlier. Oh, it's like, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. Please explain what "huh" means, and we'll respond to that, Andrew. I write this a lot of times too when I don't know what's going on. So for me, I'm a third-year student like you, Matt, and I am about to take the NPTE, as I said a little bit before, like you are.
Mm-hmm.
And in my second to last clinical, you're doing 2 clinicals as well, Matt?
3 in my last year, but I'm on my second, so almost there.
Okay, we did our last year. Oh gosh, so exciting. And I go to Columbia University in New York. And right now, my stresses, I'm not saying when I'm taking the NPTE, but when I'm in my clinical, I'm focusing on my clinicals. I'm not studying, although I guess you kind of are if you're reviewing anatomy and things every day to be really strong at it.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you asking, Taylor? I think you said, what are you doing to me? But it kind of, oh yeah. I was just wondering, what are you up to today? That's all. Yeah. Share it with us. That's all. And I have worked my hardest to get involved with advocating for the profession in any way that I can that the APTA and NYPTA are standing for. However, I'll start off with the advocating. Through advocating, I started off actually not interested at all. And because I have a background in musical theater, my attraction to advocating initially, this is more than a year ago, was just because I was going to be in front of the camera at Good Morning America, because I'm an actor. I'm like, yeah, in front of the camera.
Yeah.
In front of the camera for that event, which my buddy Joe Lipsky put together. He's the one who started it. Great person. Mm-hmm. That's when I realized, wow, I don't know what opioids are. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know why it's important. And I started to look into it. And it was this like little fire. And I went to the Women in PT Summit, and all these fires just started to build upon themselves more and more. And a full-blown passion for me, as I've said on podcasts before, my biggest fire, like I would say 95% of what motivated me, was the elections It's fine whoever you voted for. I always say that. But the thing with the elections is I was unhappy personally. And it's okay if you were happy. I'm always like, I do not want to even go there. But what I realized in that is that I hadn't taken any action. So who was I to complain? So I moved on.
Yeah, definitely. And so, I mean, there's a lot to your journey. Just whatever you want to share, can you sort of explain how you sort of just got from just being a, normal DPT student to where you are now?
Oh, well, I've never been normal only because my personality is so out there. I have so much energy. I'm very self-aware of this. And I know I could be very for people at first, but then they get to know me and they like me. So I just have to pray I have more than 3 days with you and then we're good, which makes me worry about conferences, which I've talked to you about, Matt. I'm like, oh my God, my personality, here we go. But through this, it was all personal drive. I like advocating. I went through a similar thing with volunteering and giving. It started from a selfish place with Fairy Tale Physical Therapy, which I co-founded with my friend Katie Schmidt. And for that had to do with theater. Once again, I was going to get to perform, but then it grew into something so much bigger when I was in front of those beautiful children and those hospitals who are stuck there, and we're giving them. I can't talk enough about that. And you can relate, Matt, with what you're going through.
In the PEDS clinical internship, yeah.
Yeah, we've definitely been approached. I'm going to sidetrack a lot. We've definitely been approached by people going, oh, let's do it at schools. And da-da-da. When it comes to kids, there's so many ways to bring our essential skeleton of Fairy Tale Physical Therapy to different locations. But we are still not even covering all the hospitals in the United States. So let's start there. Let's start there. And then, of course, if you're listening and you're realizing, or if you already knew about Fairy Tale Physical Therapy, even if you're not a performer, this is a wonderful service to get going at your school for long term. I cannot talk enough about how much Katie and I want this to grow.
Yeah. And so before we go into your other things, can you explain more a little bit like about how you structured that, how you organized that? Because it wasn't until I heard you on, I mean, I've heard you on so many different podcasts, but I think it was on the pre-PT grind where I finally realized that like, oh, wow, like you really put a lot of work into this, like more than what I had anticipated before.
It doesn't feel like work when you love it. And so for me, my first passion is theater. It will always be theater. Nothing can replace it. That's great. I'm just finding ways to make physical therapy work with that. And there are, which is wonderful. So for us, with Katie and I, as we've spoken on other podcasts, it was work, but it didn't feel like work because we were so excited. If anything, we were just racing to get things done as we together. And so everything is now on Google Docs, scripts and how-to letters. We have a PowerPoint. We have videos on exactly how to put it all together. There's really everything's all set up. And that, similar to my advocacy stuff, it doesn't feel like work when you're passionate about it because you're just going, oh my gosh, yes, let's make this happen. When do you need us to meet with you to help talk you through if, you prefer that on top of the videos and the PowerPoint and all the pre-written letters to hospitals that you can just send out and just put your name in. I mean, we have it so mapped out for people.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so going into like the Good Morning America, I did see that video of you up there with Joe Lipsky. Like, can you explain more about overcoming your fear of just like, wow, like I don't know enough about any of this stuff.
Like I remember because I have a musical theater background, I have a ballet background. I can talk about tour jeté, tendu, échappé, like all these words that are just second nature to me. But for me, why would I ever use the word opioid unless somebody defined it to me in class or I knew I needed to look it up? And although this was going into my second year, it hadn't come up. So why would I know it? And so this I learned. And so when, for me, it wasn't a fear. I was just like, okay, I said as a memorized statement and just was like, fine. And then I made sure when the camera was on it, I like to give credit where credit's due, though some people think differently. And they're like, oh, no, this is a given profession. I'm like, it is, but it's nice to just even be acknowledged. And so that's why I made a point to say Joe Lipsky. I pointed to him and I said his name on Good Morning America because he's the one who started. He's the one who put it together. He's much more humble about it, but it's such a wonderful thing. And now it's like a thing. It's a thing.
It is a thing.
Buddy Tyler Thiel, who's now taken over the core ambassador role. He's been continuing it on, and the next core ambassador will continue it on. It's so great. I love it. It's such a simple thing, but it's for it to be a regular thing, and the hashtags and everything, the t-shirts, it's great. It's a great social media move.
Yeah, awesome. And we will get to the panel. I mean, I'm definitely feeling that where I have to do that, like give credit where credit's due for you. But first, can we go into the elections? Like, you've had what, 2 campaigns so far, and so can you explain more about like your journey with that?
Oh my gosh! Oh, you're the first person who's asked me that. Oh, okay. All right. So yes, I ran for the student government position with the APTA. Everything I say after I make this statement is going to sound so contradictory. I think you should run for it. If you would like a leadership position, if you would like to make a difference in the profession on a higher scale, getting to collaborate with the APTA, go for it, do it. So I did. I ran for a communications position with my friends Jillian and Robin. Great people. I mean, seriously, wow. Robin has this background in communications, like a degree in it. I was just like, oh my gosh. I was surrounded by powerful, amazing women. This thing that I'm going to say about it that's going to be contradictory, it was actually one of the worst experiences I ever had. Oh my gosh, I hated it. Oh, it was such a learning experience, but I hated it.
Yeah.
There was bonding. First of all, I have never done anything like that before. I'm deep. I can be out there. I have energy and whatever. But there was this bonding between all of us in a messenger, which I loved that the Student Assembly was trying to incorporate. And a lot of conversations about football, and I couldn't keep up with things, so I just wasn't interactive. So I did no bonding between other people, but my mindset was, oh, I just need to get the assignments done that they ask us to do right away. So that was always my goal. I'm like, oh, good, I'm on it. But I didn't realize, as much as they say or try not to make it a popularity contest, it is. I learned about it, and I only know how to speak about why I'm passionate about it and why I think I'm good for it. And that's where my selling points are going to be. But if we're going to go off my personality for initial, initial like contact, oh my God, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. Like many of them, I don't have a lot of experience with that too. It was my first student conclave. I hadn't been to, it was actually my first month. October of 2017 was my first month of finally going to all these conferences. People have been to conferences years before that to get to know people on top of amazing credits. So I was already going in behind, and it was this awkwardness of exhaustion. And then I know I'm very self-aware. I have a lot of energy, but then we have to meet everyone because, and we can't talk about what we're running for. And it was all based on first impressions in just randomly walking around or in the hall where it's the booth section. And I'm very self-aware and I'm very aware of other people. All they're doing is they're enjoying looking at other things. But then I'm coming up like, hey, it doesn't matter what you say. It's still awkward. It's and I'm not saying that I'm running for it, although they can see it on my thing, but a lot of them don't really look at your boobs, so they don't necessarily. And unless someone who knows someone, and there might be some sort of connection. I ended up at the end of the day giving up, and I was like, you know what? I can't stand this. This is not how I work my best, and I'm not enjoying myself. So I started bringing up fairy tale physical therapy to people. And I just went around like I was a portable booth. I was way too exhausted to do it at this point. And my methods of getting people's contact information was not efficient because I hadn't planned this out. This was just more, it was like a protective mechanism and also just a way to keep going and because I could talk my butt off about Fairy Tale Physical Therapy, what I created with my buddy Katie Schmidt,
Mm-hmm.
and we had an opportunity. I mean, the APTA Student Assembly, they're wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
The people on the board before and the people on the board now, they're great, but you can't control who they've already bonded with,
Right.
and so that just leaves you at a disadvantage. But also beyond that, it's sad. It sucks. There's nothing you can do. You can't suddenly create a friendship, which I found myself trying to do, and in groups, even amongst all the people who are running for positions, great people, fantastic people. Do I know them? No, I didn't get to know them because I was so focused on running around like a crazy person. When I wanted to sit down and lie down, I was still in a room with people I was still getting to know. So I still didn't even get that relaxing moment because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know them well. They didn't know me well. And we were all like high stress.
Yeah.
Everybody handles that differently. So I thought it was one of the worst experiences of my life, but one of the best growing experiences of my life.
Definitely. And so, like, what type of lessons did you learn from that, and how did you carry that over to your position now with New York and that campaign?
Oh, one is if you are going to run for a student assembly position or the New York student, I'm now a part of the student special interest group in New York. I'm the advocacy chair, or the student special interest group. If you are running and you haven't had that much time to network or get to know people on the panel or everything, just don't make that a reason to not run, but just make that a reason of acceptance because that's your situation. And this is still an experience that you can grow from, though your likelihood of getting the position is significantly decreased.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if there are other people around who have done such a great job of getting to know people more personally and stuff before you, and well deserved, and everything. So that would be a big one. Is still run, but just be aware, be self-aware. Another one is, I would say, be you, and take breaks when you need to take breaks. That's not easy to say because there's going to be pressure. This is specifically for the student conclave.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be hard because you're going to feel, you're like, wow, I don't know anyone. And you're like, why would I go home and rest? But honestly, it's a crapshoot. Just go take a break when you need to take a break. That is not going to be why you don't get the position. Do people even know you? And I would say, I could say practice your listening skills or whatever, but most of the time when people are walking around at the booths, no matter what your reasoning is, and it's nothing against you, the last thing they want is to be stopped in their tracks and somebody be like, hey, not that they're not open, but everything should always start with do you have time for a second, or is this a good time for you? But then again, they still don't even know you, so they may not even feel comfortable saying, I'm actually really not in the mood to have a conversation right now. So it's, I don't know, it is what it is at that point. I would say just focus at that point on, if you're really going to get the most out of running for, say, specifically the APTA Student Assembly position, focus on one-on-one conversations. Like literally, if you are spending the whole time talking to only one person, that is a more special bond than being chaotic and not even knowing most of them. I personally have always worked better on that. Meeting with people one-on-one, having time with them, having time before, having time after, not feeling rushed, and just being. The conversation may not really grow that much, and that's fine. And then you just, no pressure, just end up walking away and you slowly meet someone else. But if you have the opportunity to bond with them and stick with them, walk around with them, hang out with that person, it's so hard to have one really significant connection for life, a friend, a comrade, a partner in business, than chaotically trying to just get everybody to see your face. Do that online. Do that with social media. That's where you can fit that in. But in person, I would put the getting the votes aside, especially if it's not appropriate to talk about why you're running.
Right.
And last thing regarding speeches. This is the first time I had ever done a speech like this. I am very good at speaking. Oh my gosh. I took all advice and I applied all advice that I had been given before speaking. And I did not know that. And I was like thinking that I was having a bomb speech. That was me cutting out a swear word. I was thinking that I had a bomb speech ready to go. And because I got all this feedback, I applied it. I was told to emphasize the word me. I was told a lot of stuff. And the problem is my message was there. Everything that I wanted to get was there, across was there. It was organized and everything. It sounded like from taking these notes that I was just focusing on me, not what I could do for you, but it wasn't the message. And I'm not blaming anyone except for myself. Because, well, I mean, I didn't know though too. But you learn as you go, and really make sure who you're getting advice from is someone who actually has experience doing it. Get advice, but really make sure. So that way, and of course, practice in front of, I practiced mine so many times, it was ridiculous. Get advice, but just make sure it's somebody who really knows or who has had success. And I mean, you're always going to run that risk of not necessarily having a strong speech. And honestly, that really doesn't make a huge difference. But I would definitely recommend that. Like, pick and choose. Don't just ask all advice. Yeah.
Solid advice right there. And so the next question I have for you is, what was your decision going into the different types of conferences that you've attended? Because you've mentioned before about being passionate and then starting to build up that fire. What was the decision for you going to like National Student Conclave, the different conferences that you've attended thus far?
Oh, that's a good question. Because I think what started it was attending the Federal Advocacy Forum, which go to the Federal Advocacy Forum, everyone. I'm pointing to everyone, not just you. Go to the Federal Advocacy Forum. We need more students there. It's a great opportunity. It is a great way to make a difference. Some people say it's not. Those people, go. Taking any type of action makes a difference, and that is huge. Attending there, I would say more biased, especially people in New York. We need more people there. I was the only student. There were only 2 other professionals having to meet. There's a lot of it's New York. It's a lot of legislative representatives to visit on Capitol Hill. Go. I will bond the heck with you and give all my love with you, because it's New York. We got to focus and have a great time. And you'll drink coffee. I won't, because I get exhausted. And I can't have some reflux. Okay. So why? Oh God, why? Well, they were different reasons. The Women in PT, Karen Litzy was putting that together, and I had seen something about it, and I thought, I want to go to that. So I just put that in I scheduled. The private practice section, Katie and I won the business award, the business plan award. So I was able to go to that, which was amazing and so generous of them to provide that opportunity for students.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I go to? The student conclave. At that point, because I was involved with advocating for the profession more, that was I want to go. It was more so, of course, when I was, I got the honor and the privilege to be, make it past the rounds of cuts to run in public for a position.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to expand my outreach advocating big time. And then when I was there, I realized, whoa, there needs to be a booth there for fairy tale physical therapy. Yeah. I was just like, oh gosh. And what else did I go to? I think those are the ones that I went to so far. And CSM at this point, after going to the other ones, it got me. I really love the networking. That is huge for me. And so I knew I was already going to CSM, and my focus now at CSM is one-on-one with people. I have some events that I'm going to work with you where it's going to be a group, but we're all going to be loving on each other in a profession. So bad. But I'm focusing more on one-on-one stuff, and my schedule's booking up, but it's where I'm like planning out an hour with a person.
Yeah,
so really better. So I'll be exhausted, but it's significantly better. And then, of course, I'm learning the few courses that I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
I really find that the networking is so powerful. It's so fun. You get inspired off each other. You find ways to help each other if you can. All these things. So it feels so good to just connect with people, who may be going through what you've been through, or behind you, or ahead of you. It's great. You know this. It's
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that leads into our sorry, not sorry, self-promotion stuff with our virtual conference group on Facebook, since you don't want to be awkward in person. So that's why that's why I made that decision to make that group, so you don't feel alone. And also why I decided to bring Mike Mayer and Jenna on as admins for that group, just to try and have a safe space for people to not get super awkward, but be able to initiate something for their own one-on-one, conversations.
The group that you made, Matt, is so giving. It's so great. Somebody posted, what would you recommend? Who do you want to meet? It's like
Cameron Garber, I think. Yeah,
that was so great, and it got a conversation. Through that, I learned about the Cash PT lunch hour. Hasn't been announced yet, but officially, I guess, or maybe I just missed it. But I'm excited about that. I'm like, yes, and it gives another space for the podcast panel that's on Saturday to be pushed, and then also the panel that we're on as well on Friday. So it's great. It's a great way to connect and say, ask questions, get advice or recommendations. It's nice to have groups where there's specific focuses, and you provided that with that group. And it's in the beginning of growing, but it's a good thing. It will definitely grow. It'll definitely.
Yes, definitely. And so is there anything that you want to mention about the panel?
The panel on Friday? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. First of all, I want to say, when I was putting it together and finding these people that I admire, and the list does go on, but I didn't want to see too many people. I wasn't planning on putting myself on the panel because I was like, dude, that's so selfish and ugh. But then they were like, Jenna, do it, and I was like, all right. I mean, full disclosure, of course, it didn't take too much convincing because I have a musical theater background. Of course, I love being the center of attention. Duh. So, but I was very self-conscious about that. And I still am, but now I'm just like, whatever, it's fine. But what's so amazing is that. Oh, I can't wait for this panel. The big goal is for people, when they are attending, we are giving them concrete things to do to take action. So it's not just us talking about our resumes. No, forget that. You can read that on our little Facebook invite. Yes, this is what we do. I want to say like a quick introduction, 30-second each, but then let's get out to content. That's what we're there for. It's like it's like kind of like us with our Facebook lives, where it took a while to start. We're so self-aware. We're like, oh my gosh, it is going to be content based. I'm so excited to spread the love, help PTs, students and professionals if they, want ideas or to get the ball rolling on things that they should do. And also those, oh yeah, I've done that, I should stray away from that. And all these great ways where social media alone can just not only help promote you, but you can further bond with other professionals or future patients. And it's Facebook is such a great vehicle for that. Oh my gosh. I was already doing that, but as time has gone on, I've learned so much more about it, and it's incredible. As you know, Facebook is great. I mean, I love it. I mean, Matt and I still have not met in person.
That's true.
He has quickly become a very good friend and confidant. And that's amazing. And that's through social media.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is such a good note. And so to end it, what is one, two, three, however much you want to give for advice on practical things to take action?
Advice to take action. Just do it. Just do it. I mean, if you feel free to private message me. I have my my personal profile on Facebook. I'm good with Facebook Messenger specifically. message me on there if you're stuck on anything. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you to just do it, but I'll help you out with guiding you on how to, if that might be a reason. But at the end of the day, just do it. If you really want something to happen, it will happen. For instance, if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. I know that sounds like I'm simplifying it so much, but I really do think of it as that simple. And if you are a person where, for instance, you're a person who would like to be featured on panels, would like to be more known and everything, and get your name out there, connect with people, like what other people are doing. Don't focus on yourself. Reach out to other people. They're going to want to reach out to you. The more support you give, the more support you're going to get back without even having to ask it. So, and so for you, people to reach out to get advice on how to take action will only increase.
Boom. Awesome. And I did miss it earlier, but Jared Aguilar, he says good luck on the NPTE. I think that's
Jared, he's taking it too, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, wait. I think Jared, correct me if you're wrong, with the University of St. Augustine, you're like doing part-time. I think you're a year behind us, if I'm correct, but it's all good. Correct me if I'm wrong. But
what I love, though, is that he's a student as well. It just makes me so happy. These people that I'm looking up to are fellow students. Like, how cool.
Yeah, and so one last thing, like, Jenna, if you want to talk about it, like, you're going to do a podcast episode with Duck Legs, correct?
Yes. I've done one with them in the past for Fairytale Physical Therapy, but we will be with Jared about our panel to talk more about it, which is exciting.
Yeah, awesome. So good note to end on. Anything else you want to say, Jenna? You're absolutely more than welcome.
Oh my gosh, love to people. Cannot wait to see people at CSM. If you want to connect, I'm down to. I just request that we actually have sit-down time. And
yeah, definitely. So I'll put the link beneath here. We do have that Facebook group for like meet and greet virtually.
Yes.
If you're attending CSM.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Jenna, for hopping on. And thank you everyone who is tuning in and watching.